the Terminal 3 Improvements Project. And what a great timing, because today is April 22nd, meaning we can also celebrate Earth Day by highlighting the sustainable practices that we follow in all of our capital projects at Chicago's airports. My name is Jamie Rhee, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as the Commissioner for the Chicago Department of Aviation, or the CDA. And on behalf of Mayor Johnson and the entire aviation community, welcome to O'Hare Airport. As you all know, the City of Chicago has made tremendous investments at O'Hare in recent years, which have been critical in maintaining our status as the nation's most connected airport. It is incredibly exciting to see our vision for the airport continue to unfold as we complete these infrastructure improvements and enhancements to meet the growing demand at O'Hare, which include wrapping up the reconfiguration of the airfield through the O'Hare Modernization Program, completing the awe-inspiring Terminal 5 expansion and modernization, opening the beautifully designed and functional multimodal facility and the renovated airport transit system, and other projects underground, such as the pedestrian tunnel renovation, utility and roadway improvements right beneath us across Terminals 1, 2, and 3. There's so much more to say, but let's focus on why we're here today, and that's to join our mayor, our fantastic U.S. senators, members of the Illinois congressional delegation, our regulators and airline partners to celebrate the start of another vital investment into our airport and yet into our city. The $300 million Elevate T3 project will address aging infrastructure in this building and allow for future growth. Upgraded customer amenities, security screening improvements, and expansion of accessibility features for travelers with disabilities will significantly enhance the passenger experience and improve operations. I have had the incredible opportunity to work with several visionary leaders, starting with our Mayor, Brandon Johnson, our Chairman, Matt O'Shea, and Vice Chair Curtis, and members of the Aviation Committee, and the entire City Council, our amazing U.S. Senators, Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth, and Congressman Chuy Garcia and Congressman Davis, as well as many others. We would not be here today without your creativity, your ingenuity, and support for the much-needed investments in our transportation network. Let's give them a round of applause. We are also forever grateful to the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Federal Aviation Administration for recognizing the national and international importance of O'Hare and the responsibility of upgrading these facilities. But what's more important than the building itself are the individuals behind the building process. Our airports have long served as vital engines of economic growth for both Chicago and the surrounding region. It's essential that projects like these are leveraged to expand capacity, create jobs, and promote the development of our diverse businesses of all sizes and types. The momentum has been growing. To date, we have paid out 38% of all funds to certified minority and women-owned firms on our O'Hare 21 program. Capacity building brings a sense of ownership to the community, and we are building structures that will welcome people to our great city for years to come. Why not have them designed and built and maintained by the people of our great city? We are also focused on going above and beyond the minimum accessibility requirements to provide all travelers equal access to services and amenities in our terminals. These priorities for the CDA and our diverse team of contractors and our employees that share our passion for incorporating sustainability and accessibility in all aspects of planning and design. And not just on Earth Day, but every day, we take pride in being a leader in sustainable initiatives at our airport. This department developed the Sustainable Airport Manual more than 20 years ago, which is the nation's first sustainability manual and rating systems for airports. Now it is one of our most important jobs as we embark on a project like this is to make sure that in our airport, O'Hare, is an airport first and not a construction site where we happen to park some planes. We continue to work with our partners to phase work appropriately while minimizing disruptions to their airline and passenger operations. Our construction manager at risk, Clark Neal T3 Partners, is charged with ensuring that that's the case here in Terminal 3. Overseeing this work is my phenomenal team at the CDA, led by our Chief Development Officer, Rob Hoxie. Their expertise and enthusiasm is an inspiration to me every day. I'm also grateful for our amazing airport staff who work continuously throughout construction and disruptions to ensure all passengers get to their destinations safely. Our community of 50,000 badged employees are under immense pressure every day to meet the minute-by-minute deadlines required by this industry. They are the reason our airports provide the best-in-class service. We take enormous pride in safely connecting Chicago to the world, and we do so in close collaboration with our airline partners, local, state, and federal agencies, contractors, the men and women of organized labor, faith-based leaders, elected officials, and assist agencies representing thousands of businesses in Chicago, and the numerous city departments that we work with each and every day. All of that work is made possible thanks to the support of our speakers today, so let's get the rest of the program started. Please join me in giving a very, very warm welcome, an O'Hare welcome to my boss, our Mayor, Brandon Johnson.
Nice job.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, everyone. It's really good to be with you all this morning and to welcome you to O'Hare. I do want to thank my fellow city leaders that are here. Not quite a quorum, but we have Alders, O'Shea, Nugent, Hopkins, and Lee. Can you give them a nice round of applause? Our Deputy Mayor of Infrastructure, Lori Lipson, and our Chief Operations Officer, John Robertson. Can you also give them a nice round of applause? I'm also grateful that our federal partners, USDOT, and of course the FAA, all the labor leaders that have made this project possible. Thank you for your commitment to Chicago and to the improvement of our overall infrastructure. I especially do want to thank our two senators, Senator Durbin and Senator Duckworth, because of their commitment to Chicago's airports and their creativity in securing funding, not only for Terminal 3, but for all the progress that we have made in our airports. Thank you both for your leadership. I was going to say 3 decades, but I didn't want to embarrass Senator Durbin. I love you, sir. But I'm also grateful that we have two very strong political giants that are with us today. They birthed the political movement a generation ago that made my candidacy and my leadership possible. Congresspersons, my neighbor, first of all, Congressman Davis and Congressman Chuy Garcia. Can you give them a nice warm round of applause? Thank you to the American Airlines, who is represented here today by Ben Humphrey, Vice President of O'Hare Operations. Terminal 3 has been American Airlines' longtime home here at O'Hare and in Chicago. And we know this project could not be undertaken without their tremendous support. And thank you to the entire American Airlines team for your continued partnership and your unwavering commitment to the greatest city in the world, the city of Chicago. This $300 million investment is made possible by 2 separate grants received from President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law, totaling $90 million in federal support. I'm grateful to everyone who advocated for O'Hare to receive the largest competitive grant of any airport in the U.S. for the last 2 years in a row. You know, this incredible federal support makes sense because Chicago and O'Hare are an integral part to the global transportation network, because we connect the world to Chicago and Chicago to the rest of the world. The improvements to Terminal 3 that we celebrate today are essential to meet the continued demand for an enhanced travel experience for residents as well as our visitors. This project will do just that. But it's more than just an expansion. It's more than just enhanced space. It's greater accessibility for passengers with disabilities. And some of the projects that are highlighted today, thank you for all of you who recognize accessibility is also a human right. It's a fight for justice, because more space and better screening experience for TSA checkpoints is one of the contributions. A double-wide corridor for better passenger flow between Concourse K and Concourse L, approximately 10,000 square feet for new concessions and energy-efficient amenities, a better baggage handling system, and so much more. Because today is Earth Day, I want to note that CDA is committed to developing and implementing sustainable practices throughout all of our capital projects, and we've been doing that for more than 20 years. A modernized and well-functioning O'Hare Airport supports our status as a global city like nowhere else. About 74 million passengers traveled through O'Hare in 2023. And many of them are en route to over 247 different destinations. We will continue to invest in our terminals, our airfield, and our increased access to O'Hare to ensure that the millions of residents and visitors have a great experience traveling to and through Chicago. And through it all, we will keep all of this in mind, that we need to make sure that we meet the needs of all of our travelers. The overall efficiency and inclusivity of the entire aviation system relies upon increased accessibility for passengers with disabilities, which is taken into account in Terminal 3. In our airports and throughout the entire city, I'm committed to inclusivity and accessibility. While today's investment allows CDA to rehabilitate and expand the 60-year-old terminal, it would do much more because it is a benefit for the entire city of Chicago. This investment is an investment in our people. And as long as I'm mayor of the city of Chicago, we will always put the people of Chicago first. You know, airport projects like Elevate T3 create and support thousands of jobs, including hundreds of potential apprenticeships for Chicago's young people, and dozens of contracting opportunities for local businesses of all sizes and types. While we invest in young people, that is the only way we can truly build a better, stronger, safer Chicago. Why we invest in all types and sizes of business leaders, because that secures a better, stronger, safer Chicago. When women and people of color succeed, the entire city of Chicago benefits. It's important that we promote equitable and inclusive opportunities to work at Midway and O'Hare. These are the type of stable and meaningful careers that our people desperately deserve and need. We are committed to ensuring that the workers here continue to reflect the 77 communities that make up Chicago. Again, finally, to the CDA and to the city of Chicago, we are expanding our partnerships with educational institutions throughout Chicago's region, including our Chicago Public Schools, the city colleges of Chicago, in order to connect people with real career opportunities at our airports. As we continue to improve Midway and O'Hare, we will make sure that all Chicago residents can benefit from these projects. Again, these projects are for the benefit of all of Chicago, not just a selective few. I'm grateful that the CDA leads the charge to engage residents, to promote small, diverse local businesses, and to bring economic benefit to our city through the continuous modernization of our award-winning airports. I look forward to seeing these projects completed. I look forward to the promise and potential that this project and these projects mean to the greatest city in the world. And thank you all again for your advocacy. Thank you for your continuous work. And thank you for your commitment to Chicago. God bless you all. And God bless the greatest city in the world, Chicago.
Thank you so much, Mayor Johnson. And now it is my honor to bring up Senator Dick Durbin. Senator.
Welcome to the Orchard, ORD, O'Hare, my home away from home, my home on the way to home. I just want to tell you, if you saw the movie, George Clooney misrepresented what happens when you get 1,000,000 miles. The pilot does not come and sit next to you. It's happened to me 2 or 3 times, and the worst thing about it is they keep changing my frequent flyer number. But it's great to be here, and it's great to be with my colleague, Senator Tammy Duckworth, as part of this effort that we're announcing today. My friends, personal friends and colleagues, Congressman Danny Davis and Congressman Chuy Garcia, and the entire congressional delegation. I want to thank the mayor for that excellent introduction to the reason why we're here. I want to acknowledge CDA Commissioner Jamie Rhee and FAA Associate Administrator Shanetta Griffin. And why are we here? Because we brought the money home. And that's why you sent us to Washington, didn't you? President Joe Biden created the largest infrastructure bill in the history of the United States. It's a little bit inconvenient driving the Kennedy or tollways and other places because of all the construction, but it's an investment in the future that had to be made, and it's being made. We applied for grants for terminals at O'Hare and came away, as the mayor said, with 2 of the biggest awards in history, $50 and $40 million, $90 million of the $200 million price tag. Not bad, huh? You're supposed to applaud. That takes care of about half the cost of the Terminal 3 project. And as the mayor went through the details, it's going to change the flying experience for so many thousands of people who use O'Hare. It's going to be the first impression of the city for many people, and for those, I wanted to have a good impression. I always use the example of LaGuardia. What a hellhole that was if you ever flew into it. Now look at it today. People are headed out to LaGuardia and they sit in the gathering area to watch their fountain, and they marvel at what can happen in the course of traveling when you have modernization and you have kind of efficiency and safety that comes with it. It's all part of the same effort. So I'm happy to be here today and be part of this announcement. But I do want to spend a minute, maybe 2 minutes, reflecting on history. It was not always the case that people were cheering what was happening at O'Hare. When I was first elected to the Senate, the fate and future of O'Hare was in court to decide whether or not they could go forward. There was a political division to the point where the other United States Senator, not Senator Duckworth, another United States Senator opposed the modernization of O'Hare. Villages were choosing sides in the battle, the political battle that went forward. It was a battle that was well worth fighting. And why? Because many of us realize that O'Hare is more than just an airport. It's a critical part of America's economy. It's essential to our state's economic future. It's absolutely essential to this region. How many businesses have I run into said they came here because of O'Hare? They wanted to have modern, safe travel available to them. Over and over again, whether you're a flyer or a business owner in the area, O'Hare is a big deal. O'Hare has always been worth fighting for. It was then, it is now, and I'll continue to. I'm lucky to have by my side a terrific Senate colleague and a great advocate for O'Hare, because she uses it a lot too. Please give a warm welcome to my colleague, Tammy Duckworth.
Thank you so much, Dick. Well, what a great day. Thank you, Dick, for those kind remarks. Congressman Garcia, Mayor Johnson, Danny, Congressman Davis, Commissioner Rhee, Associate Administrator Griffin. It's an honor to be here with all of you. It is really great to be here celebrating this incredible investment into O'Hare. You know, this airport is our gateway to the world, connecting Chicago nonstop to 158 cities across the U.S. and 62 cities around the world. It is one of the biggest selling points when I go overseas and I talk to Panasonic or Samsung or LG or Engstrom and say, hey, come build your factories in Illinois. We've got great workforce. We've got a great educational system. We are a direct flight to many of the cities that you're from, and that is really important when I talk to these companies. So keeping O'Hare strong means keeping Chicago strong, but it takes investments and commitment from all levels of government to support it. And that's why I'm really pleased that Senator Durbin and I were able to work with the Illinois Congressional Delegation through the bipartisan infrastructure law that Senator Durbin helped shepherd through as a Democratic whip in the Senate to help secure this $90 million in federal funding. I know this airport probably better than many of the homes I've lived in. I know that may sound sad, but it doesn't, because you see, I've been flying out of this airspace for a very long time, both as a pilot and then also as a passenger. And over a dozen years ago, when I represented the congressional district that started at O'Hare's western boundary and went all the way out to Elgin, I started working on the piece of road called the Elgin-O'Hare Expressway that did not begin in Elgin and did not end in O'Hare. And then we started working on the runway expansion. And all of those villages that Dick talked about that started coming down on different sides, it was very, very traumatic. They were all in my own congressional district. But we powered through that. We found agreement. We worked together. We were able to get the O'Hare expansion, the runway expansion done. And I'm so proud that we were able to make that happen. Now it is time to expand these terminals. And I'm really pleased that it's one of the reasons why I chose to become chairwoman of the aviation subcommittee in the Senate 2 years ago, because I wanted to be able to help shepherd this process. And I'm very pleased that Secretary Buttigieg, by the way, he sends his regrets that he couldn't be here today. I talked with him. He tried to make it. He couldn't. But I'm on the phone with him a lot, and he is very proud of what we have done here at O'Hare, and he is very pleased to send the $90 million to us. And he said, listen, you guys earned it. You need it. You earned it. You are an engine not just for Illinois, but for the nation. Get to work. Absolutely. So if we're going to keep O'Hare status as one of the best airports in the country and in the world, we can't let up. The funding that we're celebrating today is proof that as one of the best airports in the country and the world, we can't let up. The funding that we're celebrating today is proof that there's a strong federal support available for improving our airports. Senator Durbin and I pushed for this, and we're going to continue to push for it. And I know that all of us here are committed to continuing to work together to move the terminal area plan forward. Expanding capacity at O'Hare has been a decade in the making across multiple mayoral administrations, and the end is finally in sight. I am committed to working together with all the parties to ensure that we can expand O'Hare's capacity and ensure its world-class status for decades to come. We need to see the full 25% expansion of the gate capacity that everyone agreed to in 2018. And if it takes more federal money to make that happen, our delegation is going to keep working to secure it. So thank you. I'll just go to the Pentagon and look in their couch cushions. They have extra. So thank you for coming here today, and I can't wait to continue celebrating these and so many more improvements for years to come. And now I'm going to hand it over to Senator Garcia. You're next. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Duckworth, and delighted to join Mayor Johnson today, my colleagues from the Senate, and of course, my fellow West Sider, Danny Davis from the United States Congress. As we all know, Chicago is a national and international hub for transportation, and of course, keeping O'Hare one of the busiest airports in the country and a connector of people worldwide is of utmost importance. The COVID-19 pandemic at its height hit airports very hard. And as we return to pre-pandemic levels, airports are working hard to accommodate the rapidly growing demand and to mitigate severe congestion as well. And as airports across the country are expanding and modernizing, this project is a key first step in ensuring that O'Hare remains a globally competitive airport. I want to thank Senator Durbin, Senator Duckworth, Mayor Johnson, of course, Commissioner Rhee, and the Chicago Department of Aviation for their work to get this project, this exciting project, off the ground. I know it's in great hands and that you all will work steadfast to complete the improvements in Terminal 3. These renovations will improve accessibility of the terminal, provide modern amenities, expand concessions, and update aging infrastructure, especially in light of the new rule that was announced by Secretary Buttigieg 2 weeks ago to offer additional opportunities for women and minority contractors as well. They will help generate revenue, create jobs, and increase economic activity. Projects like these require both private and public funding in order to make it to the finish line, and I'm happy to be a part of these efforts. As a member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee in the House, my priority has been to bring updated infrastructure to a state of the best repair possible and to put infrastructure and transportation at the center of our federal agenda. I worked hard in Congress to negotiate, pass, and now implement the Bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which helped fund the construction of this project and many others across Illinois. As a Chicagoan, I'm proud of the vital role O'Hare plays in the economic development of the region, the Midwest, and the entire country. I'm excited to be with all of you today to celebrate this milestone, and I look forward to working to bring resources for Chicago's economic vitality. Thank you.
And now it is my privilege to introduce Congressman Danny Davis.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, when I stepped out of the house this morning, my wife said, "Danny, I know you got a lot of things to do today. So in everything that you do, I want you to stand up, speak up, and shut up." And that's exactly what I'm going to do, but not before I acknowledge the tremendous work and leadership of the Commissioner of Aviation for the City of Chicago, one of the best in the business. None better. Of course, I'm pleased to be here with the Honorable Mayor, who has been flying, well, not flying through Chicago, but zipping through Chicago, providing leadership, guidance, opportunity, hope, and direction for all of its people, which is a tremendous job in Chicago. Brandon, my neighbor, you're doing super well. Keep on doing what you're doing, and you will be flying. And you'll fly all over America. But we are so blessed in Illinois to have two of the greatest United States senators in the country. None better than Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth. We never have to worry about what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, and what it's going to mean for all of us. I have to commend the Biden-Harris administration. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about my father when I went to college. I was broke, and I sent him a letter and said, "Dear Dad, I'm broke, no money, no fun." He wrote back and said, "That's sad, awfully bad, your dad." But when I think of not being broke, the Biden administration has provided funds. I serve on this committee called Ways and Means, which really means you have to figure out how you're going to pay for everything that you do, that nothing just falls out of the sky. You got to pay for it. The Biden administration has been creative in coming up with revenue generators, ways to bring $90 million today. Let me tell you, even in Chicago, that's not chump change. That's a good piece of money. As Senator Durbin has already indicated, the largest infrastructure bill ever in the history of the United States of America. Takes money to run a country. That's what the Biden administration has done. O'Hara Airport is the light of flying, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you all for being here, and it's going to be even better.
Thank you, Congressman Davis. And we certainly wouldn't be here today if it weren't for our next guest. We'd like to bring up now Associate Administrator for the FAA, Shanetta Griffin. Shanetta.
Thank you, Jamie, and good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So I am honored to be here on behalf of the Biden-Harris administration, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, and my boss, FAA's Administrator Michael Whitaker, to celebrate this monumental project. Mayor Johnson, Senators Durbin and Duckworth, and the Congressman Davis, Congressman Garcia, Commissioner Ray, your city's aldermen, your board chair, members of the mayor's team and also CDA's team, American Airlines, and all those who have helped bring us here today. I'm happy to be in partnership with all of you. I must, though, acknowledge my team, the FAA team that works on the ground with CDA, with Commissioner Ray, to bring this project to light. So my regional office, my airport district office, and our regional administrative office. I want to give them a round of applause as well, too. I'm excited to celebrate with you today, and it is especially noteworthy that today is Earth Day. Sustainability has been a top priority for the Biden-Harris administration, and it is of great importance for us at the FAA. As noted by the mayor earlier, the Chicago Department of Aviation has been leading the way on sustainable initiatives for decades. Chicago was one of the first aviation departments in the country to develop a sustainability airport manual governing design and construction of its projects. This Terminal 3 project will be part of that legacy. Supported by the Biden-Harris bipartisan infrastructure law funding, the Terminal 3 improvements will include the latest technology, provide enhanced energy efficiencies, and reduced emissions. The improvements will have real impacts on the people who will travel in and out of Chicago and the greater Chicago communities. Terminal 3 was built in the 1960s and revamped in the 1980s. It's time for an upgrade. That's why I'm so glad DOT and FAA are able to boost this important project with $90 million in total grant funding from the FAA's Airport Terminal Program. Of that amount, $50 million is already under grant, and the $40 million that was recently announced as a part of the fiscal year 2024 ATP grant program is close to being under grant as well. These funds will rehabilitate, improve, and expand passenger access for the 20-year-old Terminal 3, making its corridors wider, waiting areas bigger, baggage systems better, and TSA screening more efficient, and provide traveling customers a greater sense of place of the Chicago culture. This $90 million Airport Terminal Program award will also build upon millions of additional dollars in federal funding that O'Hara received from the Biden-Harris administration and the bipartisan infrastructure law. For example, fiscal year 22 and 24, this airport received more than $215 million in the airport infrastructure grants for a variety of improvements to this great facility. Broadly, this year's Airport Terminal Program is an investment of nearly $1 billion to improve 114 airport terminals nationwide, spanning 44 states and 3 territories in this year alone. In the great state of Illinois, this year's program is also supporting the St. Louis Downtown Airport in Shakia, Illinois. The project will replace the aging and inefficient terminal and includes a new bus stop to provide access to the bi-state transit system and better meet the needs of airport users. At the Crawford County Airport near Robinson, Illinois, this project will include a new 6,300 square foot terminal to replace a temporary terminal that serves at the current terminal after the original terminal was destroyed by a tornado a year ago. These awards supplement nearly $2 billion for airport terminals announced over the past years. The variety of these projects are all under construction. All told, we're investing $5 billion over 5 years to modernize Americans' airports, again, thanks to the administration's bipartisan infrastructure law. So let me close with this. The American people have been thinking a lot about travels and its ways, and it needs to be improved. Our work not only invests in the physical infrastructure of our airports, but also in strengthening safety, improving efficiency, and the customer experience. Our work to improve the travel experience not only helps Americans get to and from their destinations with less stress and fewer costs, but it helps keep us safe and helps the economy thrive. We are indeed changing lives and making a difference in communities across this country. DOT and FAA are proud to play a part in improving one of the most connected and busiest airports in the world. So congratulations again to Mayor Johnson, to the commissioners, to the Aviation Chicago Department, to all of those that are here today, as we look for the development for the Chicago O'Hare Airport, Elevate T3, and we continue to have a great partnership on this project and many others in the future. Thank you for having me here today, and again, congratulations on Elevate T3.
Okay, that concludes our program for this morning. We just want to thank you for coming today. I believe we have some time for some questions. If there is, are there any questions?
We're going to open it up for questions for Congress folks first, and we're going to start with on-topic questions. So if you've got an on-topic question, please wave me down for a Congressperson.